violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, in school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, YouTube? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, and subscribe. And let's get into the video.
This new TikTok challenge is making its way into local schools. It encourages kids to actually slap their teacher. As Lauren Schwenker found out, there's already been one instance of a teacher getting slapped in the Springfield School District.
Students who engage in the trend can be suspended and possibly turned over to juvenile authorities. Hashtag slap a teacher. It's the newest trend to take over TikTok, and it's happening right here in the Ozarks.
So we spoke about this trend, and we previously spoke on the devious licks trend. Well, now they got a slap a teacher trend, and this is happening around schools, especially high schools and middle schools all across the country. And TikTok is extremely influential, especially when it comes to challenges. We saw the crate challenge, crash and burn, and we see all these other challenges coming to the light. But guys, I mean, it's getting different out here. This slap a teacher challenge hitting new levels.
It is unacceptable to put hands on a staff member in any way, and that if that were to occur, the consequences can be severe.
SPS has had one instance of a student slapping a teacher so far.
That can include up to 10 days of out-of-school suspension and a potential referral to juvenile authorities. And if that were to occur, then the student would work their way through the court system and potentially have long-term lasting impact on their record.
Trends like these led parent Jennifer Johnmeyer to have a serious conversation with her middle schoolers.
It's kind of become the topic of conversation almost every day. I have twin 7th grade boys.
So much that
we have banned from their phones.
She says she does not want the boys to.
So they can't have TikTok. Imagine that. And the thing is, this is obviously a white woman, and she has her twin boys. She's saying she's banning TikTok. But the thing is, in a lot of black families, the parents ain't checking the phones. Otherwise, all of these shootings with these young boys would, be able to be solved in an amicable way. But the parents, they're not involved in their kids' lives that heavily to make sure they're not on this app or putting parental controls on their phones. Like they just here your phone, call me when you get off the bus or something like that.
To fall into peer pressure.
They are kind of susceptible at that age to, they want to impress their friends. They get together in a group and they talk about stuff that's going on, or maybe they see an older kid doing it.
Another trend SPS is seeing and Jennifer talked to her kids about is called devious licks, where students destroy school property.
Individuals are responsible for.
And for one, they're showing these small ass kids like, no, it's big kids, high schoolers, middle schoolers who are doing this. And for them to show them elementary school kids is like laughable. These aren't the kids you need to be worried about.
Or the property damage, repaying that to the district, and that can be costly. And so that property damage will be assessed for the individual if it is proven that they are responsible for that.
Not destroying property was a topic of conversation a couple weeks ago, and it's things that you kind of assume that your kids should know. But, when they get in a group and they get all excited, who knows what's going to happen.
The district will.
So you saw her demeanor. She thinks it's fun and games. She's smiling. She's laughing. She's, oh, look at these kids with these little trends. I'm going to show you why this is serious.
Not release the school that the teacher was slapped at due to privacy concerns. In Springfield, I'm Lauren Schwenker, KY3 News.
Hold it off. Hold it off. Come on. You better not. I'm gonna start running.
So guys, I showed you guys that video to show you the severity of the slap a teacher challenge. And this is the woman or the young lady who did it. Look at this little smirk on her face as she sits here and thinks this is a joke. The crazy thing is she's 18 years old. She's 18 years old. She's of legal age. She can be tried as an adult. And she thinks it's funny. Okay? And we talk about our sisters out here, and I keep telling you guys, man, the sisters are even getting violent. Like, it's not dudes who are on demon time no more. The sisters are on demon time. And I know if you guys went to an all-black high school, the bigger girls were the ones who were usually getting in the fights, okay? And they would pick on the little light-skinned girls, the little sexy girls, the girls who look good, because of jealousy and whatnot, right? So this woman, she's a woman, I guess. This woman decides to take out whatever frustration she has going on in school on her teacher, who is disabled, okay? This teacher is disabled, and I'm just going to show you the full extent while we read this article. And this is in Covington, Louisiana. A 64-year-old differently abled teacher from a high school in Louisiana had to be hospitalized after she was slapped by one of the students who was apparently participating in the Slap a Teacher TikTok challenge. A video of the shocking incident was shared on TikTok on Wednesday, October 6, 2021. The senior English teacher at Covington High School, who has not been identified, can be seen sitting at her desk and talking to 18-year-old Larriana Jackson. Within a few seconds, Jackson suddenly attacks the woman on her face and continues to punch her till she falls off her chair onto the ground. The shocking assault left the teacher seriously injured, and she was eventually escorted to a hospital for treatment. In the video, other students can be heard saying in the background, "B, she better effing not," as a warning about Jackson's plan. Police are suspecting that the attack happened as a result of the Slap a Teacher challenge on TikTok. Meanwhile, Larriana Jackson has been arrested and charged with the felony battery of school teacher. Presently, she is detained at St. Tammany Parish Jail. Covington Police Department later revealed a warning statement against the dangerous trend, informing the Covington Police Department would like to remind everyone that anyone who participates in such a challenge will be booked accordingly. So, y'all see Larriana Jackson. You see that she's on demon time. And it only takes a few of these kids to start getting this trend rolling to the whole world doing it, just like the crate challenge. So, and the devious lick challenge. So, hey, be careful out there if you're an educator. You better be boxing, training, or whatnot. Get your hands right. But, whew.
Troup County Sheriff's Office revealing new information today about the arrest of a soldier and the murder of a young nurse who police say was pregnant with a baby boy.
News 9's James Giles joins us live now from the Troup County Sheriff's Office. And James, we're learning more about what happened on Tuesday and who police believe is responsible for the murder of 28-year-old Akilah Ware. Give us an update tonight.
Hey, Barbara, Jason. So police say that the person they believe responsible for killing the 28-year-old nurse is in fact the father of her unborn baby boy, an Army soldier stationed in North Carolina.
Oh, it's been awful. It's just been like a dream, like a blur.
We got a call to what we thought was a simple automobile accident. It turned out to be a murder.
A murder that would shock the Chattahoochee Valley.
So, guys, remember we covered this story of the woman who was driving on the street in LaGrange and the pregnant woman, and she got, clapped up, unfortunately. Guys, it was a baby daddy. It was a baby daddy.
And leave a family shaken to its core. Police say the suspect, Alonzo Dargan, was the father of victim Akilah Ware's unborn son. They say the 30-year-old soldier stationed at Fort Bragg in North Carolina trailed Ware's vehicle on Highway 18 in Troup County while firing multiple rounds into the car until he finally ran the mother, who was 33 weeks pregnant, off the road. It was later determined from the evidence on scene, Dargan drove a silver 2000 Nissan Altima and was in Troup County at the time of the incident. Now, police...
Guys, it just goes to show, man, I always say this, sisters continue to say they're the most unprotected, and I would agree with that, I would agree with that. But they're unprotected from the brothers. But they're the same ones who are defending these dudes who, like Jacob Blake. Like, I showed you guys the comment section of the Jacob Blake video. They're defending him. They're mad that the cop wasn't brought up on charges because he shot a man who, groped and violated his own baby mama. So the women who are saying they're the most unprotected are protecting the violators. They're protecting these men who are out of their minds and no good and deadbeats and ain't-ish dudes. The black women are protecting these dudes. And then they're basically crapping on the good men who are telling them that, hey, you know, we need a change in you guys' behavior to see a change in the community. Because quite frankly, you can't do nothing about these dudes out here. Honestly, like, you know, they always say you can't make a man do, you can't make a man do something he don't want to do. That's facts. Like, these dudes who have that mindset, that demon time mindset, it's OV for them. You know, they need to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Now, for the rest of us functioning brothers out here, we need our sisters to get on one accord and speak up about these things and announce these things, because guys, this story isn't going to go nowhere. This story isn't going anywhere. The only people who's going to cover it is me. Okay? So we need to spread this message. We need to share these videos, and we need to get this out here to let black women know that if you're dealing with a guy who's on demon time, like Asian Doll said, Asian Doll said that she can't deal with a dude who ain't got no bodies. This is the mindset of a lot of our sisters.
Located him at Fort Bragg Army Installation in North Carolina, and he was taken into custody.
You know, I went to the scene and could not believe that somebody had shot and killed a young mother of 5 children.
From what we have gathered, they were in a relationship with each other.
Twyla Ware, the mother of 28-year-old Akilah Ware, says her daughter was a nurse with plans of going back to school, buying a house, and moving to Columbus.
She set goals and she achieved goals. You know, she just had a whole life, ahead of her.
Now the grandmother to Ware's 5 children say she's trying to pick up the pieces and cope with the loss of the daughter that was ripped from this world.
Whatever it was that was going through his mind to take her life, it wasn't worth it. He could have just, for whatever reason, just walked away.
He probably didn't want to have the baby. He didn't want to have the baby. I guarantee that's what it was about. He didn't want to have the child. She's like, I'm going through with the pregnancy, and if you a deadbeat, you're gonna be put on child support. I don't know the conversation that went on, but I'm not the one to be, blame her for this circumstance, because obviously this dude is out of his mind. But my thing is, like, were there no signs? Like, I don't know, but were there no signs that dealing with this dude was red flag central? I mean, somebody who's capable of doing this, he's had to have outbursts before. He's had to have extreme arguments. But the thing is, in the black community, I keep saying, these loud yelling back and forth arguments are normal. So it's like, you really don't know what a person, oh yeah, that's just Alonzo. He just be yelling and getting mad and slamming tables and punching walls. That's Alonzo though. He ain't gonna do nothing to me. Like, I don't know. But, my heart goes out to the family, definitely.
In North Carolina by military police. I'm told that he's currently waiting extradition from North Carolina back here to Troup County. Reporting live in LaGrange, James Giles for WTVM Newsletter 9.
Learning more tonight about this heartbreaking situation. Ari, thank you, James.
A running gun battle on I-4 in Polk County sent 2 people to the hospital, and tonight a woman is fighting to stay alive. Watch 2's Dave McDaniel looks at what shut down I-4 eastbound for hours overnight and why authorities are so frustrated by all the recklessness.
You had a rush of testosterone and a rush of idiocy.
Miles of I-4 East shut down for hours overnight as Polk County investigators looked into a running gun battle.
By the way, I love that sheriff. He's so funny.
Allegedly involving rival motorcycle clubs just after midnight. Polk County Sheriff comparing it to a Wild West shootout.
Except the outlaws, instead of being on horses, were on motorcycles. I guess you could call them iron horses.
Sheriff Grady Judd says one biker group passed a rival group, then the shooting started.
So this isn't just like, when I saw this story, I was like, oh, some Glacier Glider men, shout out to Alk Nation, some Glacier Glider men, they're out here and they got in a scuffle. Remember that one story where there was like 100 white guys in a biker gang, and they got to fighting, and some shots went off, and I believe somebody died, and then they all got off of all the charges or something like that because nobody talked. Well, this situation is going to be very different because, for one, these are brothers, you know what I mean? Certified hood dudes who ride bikes. They're like Bloods and Crips on bikes, like he said, iron horses. So they're riding their bikes. They see another gang. They roll down on that gang, start busting shots, and, you know, probably catching some casualties, catching some bodies, whatnot. And, you know, people are going to roll on each other, especially when it comes to these black gangs. They just do. It's just what happens. Y'all see how these arrests are coming in the Miami situation, that mass shooting in Miami outside that nightclub. Everybody's telling. That's why the arrests are happening.
Had bullet casings from 3 different firearms scattered over a half mile.
38-year-old Ronald Donovan, who lives in Brevard County, is accused of shooting another biker in the back. Then,
victim 1 says, I felt the sharp pain in the back as I was shot, and I immediately returned fire toward Ronald Donovan.
That exchange ended with Donovan's passenger, a woman described as 33 years old and also from Brevard County, being shot in the head and falling from the motorcycle.
And look at the danger that these brothers are putting our sisters in. I'm telling you. Look at the dangerous situations that, for one, they oftentimes enjoy being in until they become a casualty. And for two, these brothers just like blowing down on the ops when you got your girl with you. It's truly disgusting, man.
The sheriff says Donovan won't cooperate.
Dude, your girlfriend is just shot off the back of your motorcycle, is in extremely critical condition, and you won't cooperate to tell us what happened?
Witnesses described the bikers as wearing club colors, but they weren't wearing them when investigators arrived.
You know what? And I may stand corrected. They took off their gang colors and stuff like that because they don't want to get hit with a RICO. But I stand corrected. They may hold it down and stay what they call solid.
Donovan had 2 holsters, but no guns.
Just as deputies were arriving, they saw a motorcycle leave the scene, and we suspect the person on that motorcycle may have the gang colors and or the firearms.
Dave McDaniel, West.
In the hospital after a shootout on I-4. The Polk County Sheriff says 2 motorcycle gangs started shooting at each other while speeding down the interstate. This happened around midnight near US 27. News 6's Crystal Moyer is following this story live in studio for us tonight. Crystal, there is a lot to unpack here.
Yeah, Lisa, Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd says there doesn't appear to be any rivalry between the 2 motorcycle gangs. He says both groups were traveling along I-4 East when one group passed the other and shots rang out. Sheriff Judd describing the shootout as a scene from an old Western movie.
The outlaws, instead of being on horses, were on motorcycles. I guess you could call them iron horses.
Sheriff Judd says 38-year-old Ronald Donovan fired the first shot while riding with 2 other members of the Sin City Disciples motorcycle gang along I-4.
Sin City Disciples. What does that sound like? Demon time.
Near US 27 in Polk County. Sheriff Judd says he shot a 36-year-old man from the Thug Riders gang who passed him on the interstate.
Thug Riders. I mean, this ain't this isn't your Glacier Glider gang. This isn't no, you know, we drink beers and go to the pool hall, play a few rounds of pool, maybe get in a bar fight and go back to doing the same thing the next day. No, this is different.
Victim 1 says, I felt the sharp pain in the back as I was shot, and I immediately returned fire toward Ronald Donovan.
That bullet hitting the head of a 33-year-old woman riding on the back of Donovan's motorcycle.
She is mortally wounded.
Wow. Deputies were called to the scene, shutting down parts of I-4 for several hours early Friday morning.
We had to search for evidence and firearms all up and down the interstate. There was a half-mile trail of empty casings.
Sheriff Judd says the man who shot the woman was acting in self-defense, and that's why he's not being charged. Donovan was arrested and is facing charges including attempted felony murder, attempted first-degree murder, and battery on a law enforcement officer.
And if that woman dies, he's gonna be hit with a full-out murder charge because he was the one who enacted the felony. So if somebody dies in the commission of you doing a crime, you are responsible for that body. Okay, so if that woman passes away, he's gonna be responsible for the death of his own woman, because the guy that he shot was just acting in self-defense. So that's stand your ground.
We've had a lot of lying going on. We've had people that don't talk. We've had evidence hidden. We've had at least witnesses and possible co-defendants.
And his gang member might be obstruction of justice charges. I mean, they're just racking it up here.
That fled on us, and we'll find you too.
Ooh.
Donovan is from Brevard County, and digging through court records, I found out he has a lengthy criminal history. He spent 3 years in a Pasco County prison for aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. He also spent time in the Brevard County jail for DUI and fleeing law
Are we surprised?
enforcement. Matt.
Okay, Crystal, thank you.
Eric Courts, the suspect accused of killing the mail carrier in Collier Township yesterday, remains in federal custody. In the meantime, residents in that Collier Township neighborhood, they remember Louis Vignon. Richard Peeler says what happened yesterday will remain deeply etched in his memory for a long time. He was walking his dog, as he is now, when he saw mail carrier Louis Vignon. Seconds later, the suspect.
Dang, did y'all see the bullet holes in the USPS truck? 1, 2, 3. Buddy sprayed all up in the truck.
Saw mail carrier Louis Vignon. Seconds later, the suspect drove past in the white van. And then,
damn, Daniel in the white van.
The gunfire.
You saw Lou wave to him.
Yes.
About 5 seconds later, you saw the van come up,
van, yes.
and then you heard the gunfire.
Yes, and I'm not sure how much time had passed. Maybe, I don't know, maybe like 30 seconds or something.
Peeler and other residents rather focus on what made the slain mail carrier special. They all express warm sentiment about the man who delivered their mail for 15 years.
What kind of guy was Louis?
He
Why
was-
did everybody like him?
Well, he was here every day, same time, said hello, spoke to you. You know, he was just a nice man.
Knew him for a long time. He had been running this route for, I think about 15 years.
And there's so many good guys who end up in these crossfires. And apparently the guy who murked him, he felt like the mailman was poisoning him. So he was obviously crazy out of his mind.
So everybody knew him and everyone liked him. He was just seemed like a good, friendly person. Pretty sad with what happened.
And heaviness hovers over members of the Postal Mail Carriers Union.
We'll all be working as a family, just making sure that if anybody's struggling with the fact that one of their brothers was lost to this tragedy, we want to give them all the help that they deserve.
Again, Courts remains in federal custody. Reporting from downtown, Sheldon Ingram, Pittsburgh's Action News 4.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
I could be at work, at school, in my car. I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.